My goal for the short track was to have a good start. I've been messing up my starts last week, and I just wanted to attack, get the whole shot, and lead for the first lap, and then make the rest of the race hard. It's still kind of difficult for me to get into my left pedal because I broke my left ankle, and that foot just like the neuro signal is not quite what it used to be. So I was practicing my starts, making sure that I could get in my pedal. So I was able to do that and able to kind of use some of the lessons I learned from last week to seal the deal and get the win.
This format up and around that Monster Hydro, who's it gonna be? We're gonna have a sprint to the finish. We got Aaron. Go, go, go! Sophie making her way around. There you go. It's gonna be Aaron Huck, Sophia Gomez, and followed by Kelsey Urban. Strong riding.
Going into these races, I was pretty nervous, like a lot of race nerves. I haven't raced against these women since 2019, so I had no idea how my training had been going, how, like, am I still fast? I don't know.
I sent a message to my coach and I was like, so, my goals are have a good start and make it hard. And his reply was, call me. Apparently we needed to come up with different goals. Tactics. Trying to learn how to be a better tactician.
I just really wanted to put my best foot forward and see how I stacked up against the other Olympic long team members. As we're approaching the Olympics, we will not have that many opportunities for the American women, the long team members to race against each other. They're UCI races, so they count for UCI points, and they also will potentially be used for discretionary selection for the final Olympic team. Andrew and I decided to drive from Colorado for a few different reasons. One, to kind of minimize flight travel and try and be as safe as possible from like a COVID standpoint. Andrew and I were able to bring our dog Callie, which is a huge, I don't know, just like a positive energy to have with us. So we booked a Airbnb, pretty nice place, a little bit further away from the venue, but it was really comfortable, had a nice yard, close to a park for Callie, and just kind of closer to that home feel.
And go with the flowy on the right.
Really?
No, we're gonna swap those. Go with the flowy on the left fingers, up the ante on the right. Because when you put your dropper post down, it's with your left hand.
Both of us were working also on this trip, so having a nice work remotely set up is huge. And bringing all the food that we need to cook and feel healthy and be prepared from that standpoint, having space to stretch. It's been really nice. Andrew and I have, he's been a huge supporter of mine for the past few years and has become my mechanic, so he takes care of the bikes. And this trip he decided not to race, and I think that it was so that he could focus on me, which is pretty special. Like, I need to do a good job because I'm racing for the two of us, not just for me. And it definitely feels like a team, the two of us with Callie, so that's pretty important too, and that helps bring some motivation for me also. It's like, it's not just me out here. Like, I could have just given up when I had a bad start, pedaled in and maybe not ridden the drops that were scaring me, but I knew that a good result here would mean a lot to me and to Andrew, because he's investing a lot of his time and energy into my success. So better do a good job. So the race organizer, Ty Katie, and the US Cup group did an amazing job building these courses. They were fun, technically difficult, physically difficult, some features that like A, B line options. Actually, it was Daniela Campuzano from Mexico that raced last weekend and said it's the best course that she's been on in the US, and I would agree. So another reason why this race was kind of important, it was a great opportunity to dial in my Scott Spark RC. New suspension, new tires, wheels, etc. in a race environment. And I'm especially excited about how this course was, because it's pretty similar to the courses that we race on in Europe, like rock gardens, slick, drops, pretty technical. So it was awesome to kind of dial in tire pressure, suspension settings, and things like that, where it's hard to push your equipment at race pace unless you're at a race. And then I also had the opportunity to race my Scott scale. I think my bike was awesome. So I'm really pumped with both. I mean, I raced my hardtail in the short track, and that feels really good, and my full suspension in the cross country, and that feels really good. So it was like best of both worlds, and both bikes are dialed. So I'm pumped about that, and that's an extra confidence boost. So everybody had hyped up these big drops, and when we rolled in last week, Sevilla Blanc had just crashed off of one of the drops, and she's like, we call her Cindy Sevilla because she's one of the most technically savvy riders out there. So
it also goes to show how difficult things are getting mentally, I think, for all of us. If I can do it, they can certainly do it. But one thing's, it's coming down to crunch time. There are basically 4 races before the Olympic selection. One was last weekend. There's this race, the one that we're doing in Switzerland, and then the 2 World Cups. So it's like the pressure's on, and that makes everybody a little bit more mentally fragile, myself included. Yes. I did achieve full travel. The slippery features that are slightly terrifying.
So last weekend's racing was dry and hot and dusty even, and then we've basically just gotten rain every day since then. So, you know, it makes me nervous. So I was definitely pretty nervous about those sections. The weather makes a big difference. And for me personally, I had to look at this as like a growth opportunity as I was approaching today. It was not in the best mindset at the start. The course was very different. I thought pretty slick, lots of mud. You're carrying water through all the rock sections, so the rock gardens were even more tricky to kind of navigate, and riding in the wet mud is not something that I feel comfortable with. I've had some pretty bad crashes in those types of conditions, so I always kind of carry a little bit of fear. And today I was able to work through that, and that's definitely probably my biggest positive takeaway from this race. That and sending the drops. Like, I could ride them smoothly and cleanly, and it was just a matter of kind of turning my head off and letting my legs and body do what it knows how to do without my brain getting in the way. Huck yeah. So I had a pretty bad start and had a fair amount of work to do to catch up to the leaders for the first, I think it took me 2.5 laps. And At that time, Sophia had quite a gap off the front, so I had to work pretty hard and stay really smooth.
40 feet from the bus stop, 'cause every day and every night I'm slamming the bubbly. Diet Coke from the stud down on the corner block. I don't even notice all these plastic dishes. You know I'm a handle my own business.
I was able to get around the fourth lap and extend my lead through the fifth lap and into the finish.
Boss, calling all the shots. I don't ask permission, I only ask forgiveness. You know I'm a handle my own business. Hey. I'm a boss.
I feel really good leaving this weekend, but admittedly that good feeling probably won't last very long because I'm a person that is never satisfied. So really these two races couldn't have gone any better. This is also prep for the World Cups that are coming in May, and good to get the nerves out, good to race at a really hard level. So I think this was great prep for the races that really matter that are coming up in a few weeks. Yeah. I did taste some donut out there. Like, at least it was a delicious donut. You're gonna taste it twice. Does that dog have like a life preserver on? What is that?
It's a rain jacket.
We need one of those for Alan.
It's like a fisherman's, it's like the Gordon's fisherman.
It's like...
On the fish stick box.
Ahoy, matey!
Do I have snot on my face?
No, it's not.
I think I have a little snot droplet.
It's not free.
It's not your problem.
It's not funny.
Yeah. I'll go down to the honky tonk. Such a good song.
So good.
I can't wait to go down to the honky tonk.
Callie really like nuzzling in.
Oh, another good song! Oh my god! The hits just keep coming.